What's up, guys? Welcome back to Ride JBI. Today we finished a JBI spec revalve on this 2024 Yamaha YZ450. We built this to our Moto spec. If you've been following along with us on YouTube, we've been doing some testing and development on these Yamahas for just over a year now. So if you want to check out where we started at and where we're at now, you can check out some of our previous videos. The front forks got our JBI spec Motocross revalve, and we also did our JBI Fukushima coat on these upper fork tubes. The difference between our Fukushima coat and the Kashima coat is Kashima is done in Japan. Fukushima is a brown anodized look-alike. For those that want to save maybe about $100 in cost, get a similar look and have a quicker turnaround time, that's what the Fukushima coat is for. Also, the Kashima coat company only accepts tubes that are brand new. Now these tubes we could have exchanged and done that for, but if you have a bike that has some time on it, they're not going to accept it. So that's why we also came out with the Fukushima coating. So that way we could still give people that cool brown aesthetic that the Kashima coat has without having to go and buy new tubes. Now the important stuff is on the inside. Again, the JBI spec revalve. These bikes already have really good stock suspension. So at Ride JBI, we're not trying to reinvent the wheel here. Instead, we just want to amplify the already really good personality and characteristics that this bike has. So on the front forks, we focused on trying to improve the small and medium bump chatter. So think plushness and comfort as you enter in the corners and exit corners. We tried to improve that, and we did so by about 10%. There really wasn't a lot on the table for these because they already rode really plush. But the area we focused on a lot was give these forks more bottoming. For some of you more aggressive riders, faster pace, or ones that like to jump a lot, you will find that the stock forks are good, but a little bit on the soft side for those big impacts. Now that we covered what we did on the front forks, we can shift our focus to the rear shock. Now, similarly to the forks, we did a similar revalve, meaning we wanted to focus on making the shock be a little more comfortable and plush. So think as you exit out of a corner that has a lot of stutter bumps, we want this rear wheel to follow the ground better than it does now, than it does stock. Again, we're not saying this bike is bad stock, we're just saying we wanted to amplify its already good personality and characteristics. And then also we did some other modifications to the shock absorber as well to give it more bottoming. So what we wanted to do was make sure that we took what we did to the forks and to the shock and ensure that they still match together really well. So that way this bike still rides very balanced. And again, we maintain this awesome personality that these new Yamahas have. Now for this rider, we went up 1 spring rate on the front forks and we went up 1 spring rate on the rear shock as well. I'm excited to give this bike back to the rider. We've done some other builds for him in the past, so he already knows what to expect from his JBI setups. Previously, he had a Honda with our JBI spec Honda kit that performs quite well, and he loved that. So now I'm excited to share with him what we can do on these KYB components. Everything I talked about in this video in terms of the suspension work, the coatings, everything you can find on ridejbi.com. We got a really detailed and in-depth website which tells you exactly everything what we did, why we did it, and what you should expect as a rider when you get your suspension back. All JBI suspension services and parts can be found at ridejbi.com. And that's the front door. Doesn't fucking count. It's a loud ass fucking car. All right, is everybody done around here? All right, now that we've covered what we did to the rear forks, man, we're going so good. Now that we covered what we did on the front forks,